They call it four eyes in the village, the ability to see spirits. But in Lagos, it's not a gift, it's a migraine. Especially when the thing you see is standing in your own living room at 3 a.m. They call it four eyes in the village. My grandmama said it was a gift. He said I could see the thing that walked between the raindrops. But living in Lagos, it's not a gift. It's a migraine. If you walk through Tejoshu Market at Docks and you see the market women who have no feet floating behind their stores, you learn very quickly to look at your phone. You learn to mind your business. Ignoring the spirit is the only way to stay sane in the city. I lived in an old block of flats in Yaba, near the railway compound. High ceilings, thick concrete walls, and shadows that like to linger a bit too long in the corners. For 3 years, I lived in flat 4. My upstairs neighbor was Mama Toby. He lived alone with his German Shepherd, Bruno. Bruno was old. His coat was dusty, his eyes were clouded with cataract, and he dragged his back legs when he walked. But spiritually, that dog was sharp. Every night at exactly 3 a.m., the reaching hour, when the air in Lagos gets heavier, Bruno would let out a single bark. He wasn't barking at cats. He wasn't barking at thieves. I have the eyes. I knew exactly what he was barking at. He was barking at things that tried to enter the compound when the city was asleep. He was keeping them off. Last week, I moved downstairs to flat 3, same layout but cheaper. I was unpacking boxes by the lights of the rechargeable lamp. NEPA has taken the lights, so the building was dead silent, and the heat was heavy, pressing against the mosquito net. I felt it before I heard it. People like me, we feel the temperature change. The hair on my arm stood up. The air in the room suddenly smelled like wet air and old fur. I checked my phone, 2:58 a.m. I sighed, wiping sweat from my forehead. "Oh yeah, Bruno, do your job," I whispered, looking at the ceiling, waiting for the bark from the upstairs. 3 a.m. dot. The bark came, but it didn't come from the ceiling. It came from the hallway right outside my bedroom. I froze. My sight flickered involuntarily. In the darkness of my hallway, I saw a shape. Not a solid shape, but a patch of darkness, darker than the rest. It was low to the ground, breathing. I squeezed my eyes shut. Mind your business, I told myself. Just a thin walls, just acoustics. But I knew the walls in Yaba are thick concrete. You don't hear dog breathing through concrete. The next morning, I went upstairs. I needed to confirm. Mama Toby opened the door. She looked shrunk, wrapped in an faded wrapper. Her eyes were red. "Mama, good morning," I said. "I didn't hear Bruno moving around today." She looked at me and a tear rolled down her cheek. "Bruno is gone, my son. He died on Monday, and we buried him in the back near the plantain tree." Monday? Today was Wednesday. I nodded, feeling cold. "He was a strong dog, Mama. a guardian. She nodded. He never rested. Even when the legs failed, he never slept at night, always watching. I left her flat feeling cold. He never rested, and that was the problem. Because death is a transition, but for creatures of habit, for a guardian, it's confusing. That night, the 3 a.m. ritual changed. I was laying in my bed under my net. The room was pitch black. 2:59 a.m. I closed my physical eyes, but my other eyes were wide open. I heard the sound first. Click, click, click. The sound of long claws dragging on the floor tiles. It was coming from my living room. Then I saw it through the wall and through the door. I saw the energy. A large, hulky mass of grey spiritual statics. It was pacing, confused. It walked in cycle in the middle of my rope, then the back. It shook the glass in my window. I sat up trembling. It wasn't a demon. This wasn't a wandering spirit from the railway. This was Bruno. He had come downstairs like he always did to patrol, but in his confusion, he had stopped one floor too short. He thought my flat was his flat. He thought he was still on guard duty. I got out of my bed. My friends would say I am crazy. In Lagos, you don't walk towards spirits. You bind and you cast them. But this was Bruno. I walked into the living room. The air was freezing cold. There, by the couch, I saw him. He wasn't fully formed. He looked like smoke trapped in shape of isolation. His eyes were glowing embers of pale green light. He was growling low in his throat, staring at the front door, guiding my door. He looked at me. The growl stopped, and tilted his smoky head. He recognized me, the neighbor from downstairs. "Bruno," I whispered, my voice shook. The smoke form shifted. He waggled his tail, a slow, ghostly motion that stirred the dust on the floor. He leaned towards me. I felt the pressure of him against my leg. Not physical weight, but a heavy magnetic push. He circled 3 times, let out a sigh that sounded like wind in tunnel, and lay down on my rug. I didn't sleep that night. I sat on the couch watching the smoke dog guard my dog until the sun came out over the mainland bridge. When the morning light hit the room, he faded away. I didn't tell Mama Toby because it would break her heart to know her guardian is confused. Instead, I bought a new mat, placed it in the corner of my room, right where he likes to lay down. Tonight is Thursday. It's almost 3 a.m. and I'm not scared anymore. In a city like Lagos, where the streets are full of things that want to hurt you, it's not such a bad thing to have a ghost dog guiding your door, even if he's in the wrong flat.